Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow.
The most difficult time of that voyage is when we sailed and we went into the Doldrums. It's more of a condition of calm and heavy cloud cover. In between Tahiti and Hawaii, is near the equator, is a convergence zone of the southeast and northeast trade winds. It's like a permanent front where these two weather bands get together. You have direct heating from the sun, high evaporation rates, and it lifts all this warm, moist air, takes it up to a colder atmosphere, and makes clouds. It's the cloudiest place on Earth. When you go into the Doldrums, almost time to guarantee you will not be able to see the sun, moon, and the stars. Things that I deeply kind of depended on and overstudied. And I was so afraid of that because then I would be blind. And then the issues of insecurity and incompetence may take over. In fact, when we sailed down, I saw the wall of Doldrums. It was just like this sheet. It took us all day to get there. And we got there at sunset time, and I was almost afraid to go in. I didn't want to. I was like, want to turn around and go back towards Hawaii, but I needed to go. When we went in there, it was just, I couldn't see the sun, not even the sun, let alone the moon or anything else. And solid rain, and the wind stopped. And the rain falls like from the top of the clouds at 40,000 feet, so it stings you because the drops that collect, they're so big. You got to wear fall-weather gear, and I was lost. I was mentally and physically lost in the Doldrums, because what happened was it went calm, then the wind came back, but we didn't know where it came back from. Well, I didn't know. So the primary rule of voyaging is you only know where you are by memorizing where you come from. That's how the system works. The hardest thing about voyaging is the memorizing process over 30 days. The rule is you cannot sail in a direction you don't know where you're going, because you cannot account that into your memory, and therefore you cannot figure out where you are in the next step. But I was too immature. So now we're sailing, the wind comes back, don't know where it's going, where the wind's coming from, no stars, no sun, no moon, it's getting dark, and off we're sailing in a direction I don't know. And I was supposed to take the sails down and wait, but too immature. And I remember this guy, Buddy McGuire, was steering the canoe, and he doesn't know where we're going. He wasn't supposed to know. He's a steersman. And he just turns to me and goes, Nainoa, where you want to go? And I was confronted with that realization that I didn't know, didn't want him to know because he'd lose confidence. I was so exhausted because of fear that I went back and leaned on the back rail, locked my elbows, and tried to rest standing up because I didn't want them to see me sleep. And in that kind of, that whole process of trying to look for things with your eyes which are not there, as Mau always said, that sometimes you can't see with your eyes, you got to look inside here, meaning close to his chest by his heart, and navigate with your heart. And I didn't have confidence in that. I come from a very Western education background that has trust in science and measurement and everything else. And in statistics and calculations, and all of that's out the window. My biggest fear was the Doldrums River in the heart of it. And I leaned on the rail. I was so tired because of the exhaustion of that kind of experience that I didn't sleep, but I was resting without sleeping. And take it for what it's worth, at least from my perspective, true story. The rain is cold, it makes your foul-weather gear, the plastic, turn cold because it's falling so far. On my right shoulder, I started to feel this warmth. And I turned, and in that warmth, I knew where the moon was, even though you couldn't see it. So knowing where the moon was and knowing where it was rising from is enough direction to guide you back to where you got to go. So I tell Buddy, okay, go this way. And then, like a gift, I guess. True story, take it for what it's worth. There was a hole in all these clouds, and right in the hole was the moon. And don't ask me how I know, but when you ask the question of what is the most powerful experiences, it's getting into a place of, without knowing how you know. It's in a deeper level of understanding. It's deeper than intellectual. What was interesting about that experience was Mau, who had pledged not to tell me anything, because if he said to me before we left the voyage, if you find Tahiti, that's good for you, but it's better for me because I'm your teacher. And so he says, I'm not going to tell you anything unless it's a safety issue. But Mau, he was watching me. When he saw me start to tell Buddy where to steer, when he saw the moon come through the hole, he went to bed. And that was a real strong signal that the real learning was beginning for me. The real deep learning was beginning for me. It's about seeing the island.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.